Yo, what is up guys? In today's video, we are going to be updating one of our old videos that have done really well. So I think it's something that you guys definitely want. We are going to be learning how to make your very own custom streamer logo in Canva for free. You'll be making something just like these. Let's go. Does your stream need healing? Then you come to the right place. My name is Dr. Heals and I'm your content cleric. And today we're going to teach you how to enhance your stream on an absolute budget using Canva. But first, quick word from our sponsors. Today's video is sponsored by Own.pro, the subscription service from the legends at Own.tv. For just $12.99 or less a month, you get unlimited access to over 400 premium overlays and alerts. After a quick install of the Own.pro software, you'll be able to change the entire look of your stream with the click of a button. Use my affiliate link down below to support the channel and check out all that Own.pro has to offer. By the way, guys, if you're not already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. We're making videos just like this nearly every week to help you grow your stream on a budget, primarily using programs like Canva and other free, just incredible software. Also, if you would like access to anything we make here, you'd like to have the Canva templates, all you got to do is go and update your name and grab this logo. Well, hey, that is now available on our Patreon, which we will have linked down below. And last plug is follow me over on Twitch. I stream actually pretty normal time, just adjusted the schedule. If you want to see the schedule, make sure you hit the Twitch link down below and follow me. But with that said, let's get on into the tutorial. First thing you're gonna do is go to canva.com. If you haven't already, create an account. And if you would like the pro version, I have a link down below to get you pro for free for like 30 days or something. If you want to use that, you're more than welcome to do it. First thing you're gonna do is go to create a design. And I'm just gonna go for logo, and it's just gonna be 500 by 500. So for this video, what I decided to do is make up a fake brand. And the brand that we came up with, and I actually asked my wife, I was like, give me any gamer name you can think of. And she came up with Crimson Chaos. So the brand we're gonna be working with today is Crimson Chaos. Now, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type it out and I'm gonna look at it. So from here, I would make the decision on how I want it to be pictured. Do I want it stacked? Do I want it long ways? Do I want it in lowercase, all caps, or maybe the beginning of each word capitalized? Either way. So I think the way that I'm gonna do it, at least for this first logo, and I think we're gonna design about 3 custom logos, and then I'll show you how to actually use the templates so that if you are not a very experienced designer, you can't get anything that you really love, I'll show you how to look up some templates and come up with something that looks just pro, like super easy and within like 5 minutes. But first, let's make a custom one. So on this one, I think I'm gonna go with all caps. I think that looks nice, and I'm gonna change my font. Now, as you get looking through here, there is an insane amount of fonts, and if you have a pro account, you can upload your own custom fonts, which you can see I even have a Star Wars font in there if I wanted it, but that's not the direction. That's not the direction we're gonna go, but we could. Okay, so we're gonna look for a font, and I believe the first font that I had found that I had decided to use was Bryce, if I remember correctly. Yes, it is this one right here, or maybe it's this one. And in all caps. Okay. Now for this one, I'm actually going to make the background black, and I will make my text white, just like that. So there we go. And that is at least our starting spot. So now I want to go over here to uploads, or I'm sorry, elements, and I'm going to start looking for things that represent chaos. And so you can kind of see I've already began to do this. And this is a great way, if you don't know where to start, is just start typing in things that you think represent your name. So I could just say C, and I'm going to get all sorts of C's, and I could easily, if one of these I thought worked, like this little monster one, right? You know, you could do something with this, you know, maybe take out this first C here and allow that to be the C that, you know, that runs this logo. I don't know. I'm literally just doing stuff at the moment. And click my little tool right there, grab that exact color, green, you know, do something like that. Main thing is take this as a moment, a few minutes to be creative, right? I'm gonna go and get rid of this. Actually looks pretty good like that, just really big behind the word. All right, but I could go for C. I could look up something like this, but the way that I went about it is I was thinking of chaos, and I was thinking of crimson, and I thought of fire. And so going through here, there's a lot of fire icons and logos and different ways to go about this. We could always, take a flame like this, kind of touch it down right on top of the word crimson, maybe change this to match. But as I was scrolling through, I spent a good few minutes kind of looking through these and getting an idea of the direction we want to go. So if you see something you like and you click on it, you can actually, a lot of times they'll give you magic recommendations, which are things very similar to it. And so what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna delete this one. And I really like this one that has like this lion mouth, right? And I kind of like it just as like the main emblem, and we can adjust this up or down. I think some sort of sizing about like that is pretty good. I'm gonna center these back up. So that looks pretty good, but it's crimson, right? And that just doesn't scream crimson. Now, I did test this one. I can change the color here, but it only changes this part. Most of these objects are not like that, but this one is. So little trick, if it's not the color you want, I'm gonna show you how to change the color manually, okay? So this one, as you can tell, we cannot actually change the color of it, but we can go to edit image, and we can go right here to color mix, and then just choose any of this. I'm gonna go with sangria because it's gonna get us close, but then I'm gonna click the little controls here, and I'm going to begin to adjust the hue until it gets sort of how I want it. You can see I can go all the way over here to blue, but I want to bring in some reds. That is getting close right there. And I think I can bump up that saturation, and now I'm gonna get a real bright red color, which is exactly what I want. So there we go. That is, I want to keep it just like that. Now what I want to do actually is I want to separate these words. So all I did there, sorry, I moved quick. I highlighted the word chaos and I press, for me, Control X. If you're on a Mac, Command X. Then slide this one over, then Command V or Control V, just like that. And kind of get that middle spacing about how I want it. I want to leave the word chaos white. The whole reason I separated this so I can make them two different colors. I want to take this word crimson, and I am going to click here and grab the little eyedropper tool, and I want to get this red over here. Oh, it moves very quick sometimes. There we go. And so yeah, there we go. And I'm going to go and group these together. Position, center them up. Position, center. All right, that one is centered. Group all this together, position. Okay, there we go. It is perfectly centered. So that is our first iteration. I would think that this one kind of works for someone who is maybe an MMO player or does some more of like fantasy games. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna click add page, and I'm gonna go for a different direction. So this one is gonna be entirely different. And so I'm gonna search fire, just like I did before, and I'm just gonna look for a few more minutes, and I kind of know how I want this one to look. I want it to be a more modern looking logo. And I think this is the one I'd went with. Oh yeah, and I was gonna make this background white on this one. Kind of shrink this dude down, something like that. I'm gonna center it up here. Now I'm gonna type out the word crimson chaos, just like before. Quite a bit smaller, and this time I want a font that's a lot different than this, right? So this time around, I'm going to look for a font that is just a basic, plain old sans serif font. Okay, and the font I'm going to end up going with is Montserrat, which is a just very, very popular font. And I'm going to go with extra bold, and I'm going to shrink it way down. Now, a lot of times when you're just getting started in design, you think that the more visible something is, the better. But often that shows a little bit of like an amateur style. Whereas in a lot of professional logos, I mean, look up Apple, Nike, Google, you'll notice that they really go a lot more minimal with everything. So that's what we're gonna do here. Is I'm going to take this, I'm gonna kind of shrink it all down, about 18.5, and then I'm going to adjust my letter spacing, just like that. And it's gonna go out here right beside it here. And what I wanna do now is I wanna actually make this logo, and I'm gonna match it up. I want it to be this color, so that should be it. And then what I would like to have is the word crimson to be this red color. So same little trick I did before is I'm gonna cut the word chaos out of there, and then I'm gonna paste it back in, and for whatever reason, it did not hold our settings. And so what I'm gonna do is Montserrat extra bold, 18.5 is what it was. Now I don't know what this was. 451. So there we go. There we go. So it is perfectly matched. I'm just gonna line it back up here. Huh. Doesn't look right, does it? 451? Oh. All right, so once I have this a little bit closer, I'm gonna bring this fireball up where it's just kind of tucked in underneath the eye right there. Now the way this sits, there's not a ton of contrast between the eye right here and this lighter color. So I could come in here and make this lighter color a little bit, you know, a different color, which would help some, right? Maybe something like that. But I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually going to add a little bit of an effect on our words. So I'm gonna click on our words, I'm gonna click effects and click shadow. Now the shadow by default is terrible. So what I'm gonna do is change that to a black shadow, which already looks pretty good. I could add a little bit of up the transparency, and now I have this little blockiness that's coming off of it. But what I wanna do actually is I wanna lower this to about 50% opacity. And then I want to raise the blur up, and you can kind of see as it begins to blur, it looks a lot more natural. Something like that, I think. Maybe offset, maybe tuck it in just a little closer. We can adjust our direction and everything here, but I think where it was pretty good. So, okay, something like that. I think you have a pretty cool looking logo for Crimson Chaos. Definitely feels retro, definitely feels pretty 8-bit, right? All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're actually going to look through the templates and see what we can find. And so one of the first things that I thought was, what if we did like a rocket logo? And kind of go a little bit away from the direction that we were going with the fire and the lightning and things like that. And so I seen this one, and honestly, it's super clean. I think this is a great logo. And so, I mean, it's as easy as, it's as easy as doing something like that. I mean, maybe adjust the color since your name is Crimson Chaos. Give this shades of red, right? I mean, give it a like darker maroon color, right? Something like that. And like you're there. I mean, if you want just a really, really clean logo, like that's good. But we'll keep looking. All right, let's keep looking under Rocket. And the cool thing from here too is if you see one you want to try out, you just click it and it'll go into update the words. So you can just try as many as you want. Now that you have the words Crimson Chaos in there, you can just keep clicking them and it will update them. And most of these, I fall short on that one actually. I was gonna say most of these you can update the colors. This one in particular you can't, but you know, still an option. And just when you see one you like, click it and see if, if that's the direction you want to go. And I think I like this one. I don't know why this one's stacked here. Oh, I do know. So there we go. And with this one, you can kind of adjust it, kind of fit this little area you want it to fit so that it finishes out that circle. And here I'm gonna bring my letter spacing out just a little bit more. Right, do something like that. Maybe make this background a red color that, it kind of makes sense. Maybe go a little bit darker, something. You can go through and kind of pick out the red that works. But there you go. I mean, in just a couple minutes, we have, a pretty nice looking like rocket logo. So I'm just gonna click down again, and this time I wanna go for a gamer-ish logo. And so if you just type in gamer, there's gonna be a lot of like traditional like gamer logos in here. And I go back and forth on if I like them. I think they're cool, but I feel like they're a little bit like cliche. But I will be honest, this cat gamer, it's pretty cool. It'd be a cool little mascot for your stream. But as I was looking through here, there's some pretty good ones. Like this Blitz game one I think is good. Some of these with the controllers, a little bit cliche, but they're still nice. But really what I wanted to do is I wanted to choose one of these logos to show you guys this effect right here, okay? I want to show you how to make that. So let me find a logo we can use. Here we go. Let's use this one. We'll use this werewolf, and we're going to update this to Crimson Chaos, right? Just like that. Now, what I'm going to do here is I want to update all of our colors to a red color, right? And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a little bit of trick. See how these colors are already here? Listen, a professional designer has already made this and chose these colors. So what I'm going to do, rather than going through and trying to pick my own colors and completely messing this up, all I'm going to do is take every one of them, leave them at the same location they're at here, and I'm just going to change the hue essentially. And so I'm just going to click my way down the line, and I'm just going to turn it all the way red on all of these. And if you're watching over here on our logo, it is slowly shifting to a red hue. Now, nothing drastic, right? And actually, I'm going to leave this white. I lied. There we go. Now, what I want to do is I'm actually going to give us a fancy background, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to actually Control-C, Control-V to copy this guy, and then put him here. I'm going to hold down my Alt button, and all that does is, rather than, you know, just stretching out this way, Alt stretches it from the middle, so I can kind of fill up this scene. And I want the face to be a little bit high. So something like that. Okay. Now I'm going to send it all the way to the back, just like that. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I need to put a little overlay on top. And so I'm going to have to look up how to do this. Okay. So what you're going to do is come over under elements and just type in the word transparent, exactly what I typed in. And there's a few. So this one is going to kind of give it to you at this angle, but it has to be white. I don't love that. There's a few others. So you could do a few of these effects. Something like this is kind of, it could be kind of cool. Right. And then you're obviously going to position that under. So it's kind of on top of there. And maybe if you oversize it, I'm going to zoom out right here a little bit. You oversize it like that, you know, I don't know. I'm just trying something. And maybe I want to change this actually to a black. And so it's kind of like staggered black shapes. That kind of gives a cool effect. But what I want to do here is I'm actually just going to go with this basic transparent one, just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and make it full screen. And I want this side to be black. And so we have that nice shadow, and I'm going to put it backwards behind my logo and behind my word. And I'm actually going to Control-C, Control-V, make a copy of it. And it made it darker, but what I actually want to do here is I'm going to spin it 180 degrees. Just like that. So now I have it on both sides. And I'm going to take my word here and I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow. Okay? Black shadow, just like I did before. Up my blur a little bit, up my transparency. Okay, and so right there we have kind of a cool effect. Now, what I would like to do here, I'm gonna bring this down. I'm gonna select this image that's in the back. I'm gonna go over here to edit image. I'm gonna click color mix, and you could actually use a couple of these effects. So while I have it, I can actually use a couple different effects. And so one I thought would be kind of cool is actually if we added something like a radiate on it, something like this, right? And in color mix, I want to go and actually drop down the saturation on it, right? Something like that. It held. Oh well. You kind of get the picture where I'm going for with this. But I think doing something like that gives you a cool background, and you can play with that, use your effects, do whatever you want to kind of get the look that you're going for. And I think you can come out with something looking really, really cool. But yeah, I mean, once you get in here and start looking at these templates, literally, I mean, type in anything you want, and you're probably going to find a template that's going to work for it. I mean, you know, your Crimson Chaos. So you know, you can go with the Greek god thing. You can go with some Zeus. Some Zeusness, and make him red, you know, really sell the crimsonness. I don't know, like, you can very quickly make stuff like this. And if you're not an experienced designer, there's nothing wrong with using these templates that Canva, that professional designers have already made for you. So use these, utilize these. And guys, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, because I'm actually going to take one of these. I haven't decided which one yet, but I'm going to take one of these concepts and build out an entire brand around it. and build out all our overlays and everything you would need for a stream. And I'll have all of that stuff available in my Patreon. So again, that'll be linked down below. So make sure you're sub to the channel so that you don't miss the overlay video and the branding video and all the other things we're gonna have. We're gonna be doing all this in Canva. So if you want to get access to Canva Pro, actually have a 30-day free trial down below. You can click that, get the free trial, make everything you want, and cancel it before you ever charge a dime. That is fine. But if you decide to keep it, hey, that's awesome too. I have Canva Pro and I love it, but that is completely up to you. Anyway, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you follow me over on Twitch. Hey, and I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. It's getting more interesting by you murdering animals. Exactly. Everyone likes the murder of innocent animals. Not really. But in video games, I believe it's acceptable. But in real life, never ever hurt animals.